time and record a podcast.
Oh my god, it doesn't even feel like it's 5 o'clock for me because I slept until 10:30.
It doesn't feel as late as it is for me either, which is really weird because I've been in uni since like 10:30.
Yeah.
But I think it's because I've actually done work.
Yeah. I don't know. It is a late game today though.
Oh,
why?
It is.
No idea.
It is. Also, after we've recorded, I'll show you my Flint drawings.
Okay, well, we can start now then, because this has been recording, so it's just been sitting here. But hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line. My name's Emma, and I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Marcie.
Hello.
I don't know where to start, man. Like, I don't know where to start.
Roll a Matthews now.
We could start with them, or we could start with Issei Cowan if we wanted to start like with that. Because it's all about the kids this episode, I think.
It is. It's just the little guys.
It's all about the kids because they've had some things, but I don't know. I guess we can start with just talking about Leafs and Bruins Game 5 that was on Tuesday. I know my days of the week.
I'm so proud.
Yeah, and the Leafs avoid elimination in a dramatic overtime winner. Courtesy 2-1. It was a very close game, courtesy of some fantastic goal scoring by offensive powerhouse Jake McCabe.
No, stop. I've literally got offensive powerhouse Jake McCabe with 3 question marks in my notes.
It's the way. I think like after his like second or third goal, because it was like he scored like a couple goals like really close together this season in terms of just like games, and I was like, offensive powerhouse Jake, and it's just become a thing now that we just like say, where we're just like, yeah, offensive powerhouse Jake McCabe, who's having a career season in terms of offense, also in terms of his defensive play as well. Just like he's having a great year, really making that trade worth it for the Leafs. But yeah. And I also have in here on his, so also as well, Joseph Woll gets to start for Game 5, and plays a fantastic game. Also as well, Leafs are without Matthews in this game, and also will be without Matthews tonight for Game 6. He is still ill, sick, injured, whatever it is. There's some rumors via Elliot Friedman where it could be like he was sick, which is totally valid. And then something else happened, and now he's hurt. And so that's what's keeping him coming back. Like, that's why he's been away for so long, but the team's still going to say illness because they're not going to admit that he's hurt. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
It's a weird one. And, like, I don't know. My dad seems to think it's an ingrown toenail, which, like, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Father Perby1, for your insight.
That was still a weird text to get where I was like, are you just making things up now?
You're like, what is going on?
What is going on? But I don't know, like, this is the thing where it's like there's been videos of him at morning skate, because he has been out for a couple morning skates, and he just like doesn't look the same. And people are like, well, he could play through that. Look at, he's out on the ice. He's out on the ice for 5 minutes, skates around, and then has to like take a knee to get a breather. I don't think he can play 20 minutes of high intensity playoff hockey.
No. Definitely. Like, the man can't skip. The man can't breathe. Like not even my inhaler could fix him. And which is saying something.
And like, I don't know if it's something where it's like, I don't know what it is, because of course we're not going to know about what it is. We're going to know when the Leafs get eliminated from the playoffs or whatever, and we're going to get the laundry list of injuries.
We're going to find out after the Leafs win the cup.
We're gonna find out after the Leafs playoff run ends. There we go.
Cover all.
I'm not setting myself up for anything here. Truly, I don't know. It's like, and it's not like the Leafs can win without Austin Matthews, obviously. So that's not like an issue. And like, I know then people are like, well, if they can win without Austin Matthews, why are we paying him so much money? I'm like, guys, because like you can't, like, not the point.
Yeah, it's like, you could win without a lot of people, but we pay them because they help us to win. They make it easier to win.
Yeah. But yeah, so again, no us, but like hats off on Jacob McCabe. I also have a note for like his goal. It's like scored the way that they have to versus Boston in terms of just taking away the sight lines on Swayman. There was so many bodies out in front. Bertuzzi was the main guy in this and just creating cover and net front coverage to block sight lines. And Jeremy Swayman did not see that puck at all. No. He was not expecting that shot from Jake McCabe, and that's why it worked. And the Leafs have to do that because that's obviously how they're going to score. They cannot score in the way that they've been trying to score earlier in this series because it obviously is not working. Yeah. And like this game, like the 2 goals really sum up how they have to score in this playoff series to be able to pull it off. And so yeah, I said like I also have here like the Leafs were pretty dominant over Boston throughout the game. Like I don't know what it was. The Leafs just came out early strong, and were able to be dominant over Boston in a way that kind of almost had Boston like flustered. They were flustered, and you could see it in their play. They got frustrated really easily. They started then taking cheap shots and just going after guys after whistles. And like, yes, that's where you can then win back your like momentum in the game, but you could tell that they were becoming frustrated. Like that's what the Leafs have to do.
And that's something I love to see.
See, annoying. We're going to talk about Matthew Knies in a little bit, but because I just kind of want to like lump it out and then spend like forever talking about Matthew Knies because he had a fantastic game.
Such a good game.
Such a good game. But yeah, like, anyways, Trent Frederick on Joseph Woll, fork found in kitchen with that goal.
That was going to happen.
It was like gonna happen. Like you could be like, well, no former Leafs. I'm like, yeah, but like literally Joseph Woll has said every time him and Trent Frederick have played against each other, Trent Frederick has scored on him. Like throughout their like because they did play junior hockey together in St. Louis, and then they were on the U.S. National Development Program together, but then they played against each other in college and now through their like pro careers. But yeah. Childhood bestie.
We just can't have nice things.
No, we can't. But yeah, so fork found in kitchen on that one also was like a misplay by Benoit that led to a high danger chance. So it's like not even like you would have liked Joseph Woll to have that one, but also like it's not a poor reflection on him and his game because he had a fantastic game.
An unfortunate defensive slip up.
Yeah, and as much as you're like you want your goalie to stop every single shot, sometimes they are human and cannot stop every single shot.
You can't expect the goalie to stop everything.
It'd be nice if they would, but you can't expect it.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
But yeah,
I was gonna make a pun.
You were gonna
but I'm saving that for later because I've got it written out.
You do? Stop.
I always write my puns out.
It was a good game by Joseph Woll. I want to take a moment to applaud his performance coming in on a game 5 where the Leafs are facing elimination. Every time Joseph Woll has started a game in the NHL playoffs in his very young career, it has been a game in which the Leafs have been in elimination, like facing elimination. All 3.
The poor guy. Like he goes from Leafs elimination game last year to losing the Leafs elimination game last year to playing in the Marlies elimination game last year to losing the Marlies elimination game last year.
And here he is starting a Leafs.
He's broken the losing streak.
Well, yeah, the losing streak of who?
It was still a streak.
True.
Give him credit.
No, he played fantastic. He just was so calm and collected. In the words of Matthew Knies, I trust him when he's in there. Oh my god. He's just so calm and collected. I trust him when he's back there. Like that is just one of those things where I'm like, and also as well, my favorite thing about the playoffs is like these guys have to like do their media availability together.
Which is...
And they've made Matthew Nyes and Joseph Wool do their media availability together. So, like, they're complimenting each other, like, sitting beside each other at a table. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, so pan out.
It was just... The worst thing is I went to sleep about half an hour before the media dropped on YouTube. So I wake up
to about 7 messages from me going...
so many messages. You're like, they did it together. And I was like, okay, first off, what? and then I was like, and then I like watched it, and I sat in bed. The first thing I did, I didn't even check if I'd had any text messages from people. I was like, I'm just gonna sit and watch the movie.
Also as well, that media availability made me like more upset that we are lacking Leafs like suit picks right now. I don't know why we stopped getting them. I don't know if it was like what decision got made, if it was like something where it was higher management, or if it was like a social team decision, or if it's like the person who did it, who used to take them, is no longer with the organization. I don't know. We don't know. But like, I miss them. I miss the suit picks. I miss the suit picks mostly because I really do enjoy just like whatever. Like if there's a guy who wears a bad suit, to be like, that's a bad suit.
Yeah, I want to be mean.
If anything, I love it to give me the opportunity to be like, Matthew Nyes, please get a suit that doesn't look like it's too big and too short on you at the same time. You know exactly what Matthew Nyes suit I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
It is both too big and too short on him. I did not know that was possible.
But you know what? Here he is.
But yeah, he was wearing an all black suit for Game 5.
And dressed for the funeral.
And it wasn't the Leafs funeral. But yeah, just what was it? 25 shots for Joseph Wool that he stopped?
I think so. It was around that.
Yeah.
I think.
I
don't want to be wrong now.
I know, I'm looking it up now too, because I'm like, I don't want to be wrong.
We don't want to be wrong.
We don't want to be wrong. No, 28. Faced 28 shots, stopped 27.
27. Look at him go.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He did, however, have like a really quiet first period where he only saw 2, but
I think that's when I was like looking, I was like, he has not done a lot this first period, and I was like, oh god, I don't like how this is looking. But they turned it around.
But he had a great game. He made some absolute gorgeous saves. And just was really, really solid in net, and really looked like the Joseph Wool that we saw pre-injury this year.
Yep, I tweeted about that. I was before the game. I was like, "Oh, like it'd be really." Oh, I want to find out exact tweet. I was like, "Oh, it'd be really nice to like." Wait, I'm searching. I'll find it.
You tweeted it Tuesday. But yeah,
I was like, if there's ever a time for pre-injury Wool to come back in full force, it's tonight. Come back in full force. He did.
He had a great game, and he had a really great game. Still was not first star of the night worthy. That goes to Mr. OT winner himself, Matthew Nyes.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice overtime goal.
Show canceled. That's it.
Oh shush! You knew I was gonna make that pun. You knew I was gonna do it. It's me. What do you expect? Don't frown at me.
But yeah, great. Matthew Nyes, and just go watch back the goal. Go watch it back. Or also as well, you can go watch my reaction to it, because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna record myself watching overtime, because that's a smart decision that I've made in my life.
Oh my god, it was very entertaining.
Yeah, if you are going to watch it, warning to headphone users, I think my voice went up multiple octaves.
it was very loud. Like I was like, I'm just gonna turn the volume down before I watch this. And it was a good idea because it was still very loud.
Yeah, there was a lot of yelling. Apologies to my neighbors this week.
They'll understand.
I hope they will. Yeah, I hope they will understand. But yeah, Matthew Nyes on a John Tavares rebound. I want to say like shout out to John Tavares for looking like vintage John Tavares. Like early John Tavares, just in the way that he forced his way around the defenseman to then charge the net, got the rebound, and then Nyes did Matthew Nyes things where he was a net front presence and got the rebound. And also as well, Leafs, not Leafs, NHL on TikTok. I should have sent this to you. I don't know if I did, but the NHL on TikTok posted, I think it was on TikTok, posted like the Leafs bench reaction.
No, I saw that.
Okay, so you have seen this. So you can see the like how quickly it happened from when Nyes got off the bench. Because he was coming like right off a change.
Yeah, he just went
right? And the time from like when he came off the bench to when the goal was scored was like, well, it was in one TikTok. So it was like not very long. No. It was on that rush. So I just went like hats off to Matthew Nyes on that one.
Every time I like imagine Matthew Nyes like skating on the ice, I always immediately just picture him just making like like as he skates. No, because it's like that's what I do when I'm like running to my goal. I just go woo like as I'm running because I don't want to delay. So now he's the sort of person that does make car sounds when he's running really fast, or, like skating really fast.
Oh boy.
Am I wrong?
No, but also, oh my god. But yeah, I just like it's so many parts that like the thing about this team that I think, and we've talked about this like all season, I think every time we've talked about the younger guys in this team is like it gets me so excited for the future of this team.
Excited.
Like so excited. And it's been a long time. I think we would have to go back to like the early days of Marner, Matthews, and Nylander to where I've been like this excited for like a group of young Leafs and like sort of prospects, group of rookies, because it's like fantastic. Thank you for that.
Sorry, I tried to hold it in.
And we're like I don't want to say prospects, but like I also don't want to exclude guys like Fraser Minten and Easton Cowan, who we're going to talk about Easton Cowan a little bit later. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's been that long, and those guys like Austin Matthews was drafted 8 years ago.
Like, oh my god.
Right? Like that's the thing. That's how long it's been. And it's like I'm sitting like I was in middle school when Austin Matthews got drafted. And when those guys got drafted, and here I am going into my 4th year of university, and I'm so excited for yet another group of like Leafs like young guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just like I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. Like
you just know it's gonna be really good.
Really fun to watch, and they're obviously a group of guys that gets along really well. Like you can see the camaraderie among this team, and like also as well we just like know they all go out for dinners together. There's apparently some group chat or something, which would love to know the name of it. would love to know the name of it and who decided on the name for it.
Oh, to be in that group chat.
To be in that group goes on. To be in the group chat of just like Matthew Nyes, Bobby McMahon, Seba Benoit, Connor Timmins, Joseph Wool. Who else is in it? Probably Connor Dewar now. Yeah. Oh my god, who else would be in that group chat? Did I miss anyone? Oh, Nick Robertson. I'm trying to think of like one of the other like young guys like that. Maybe like Timothy Liljegren's probably. I don't know if Timothy Liljegren's in it or not, but like that group. I'm just
like,
so.
When we say that group, you just know who we're talking
You just
about.
know who we're talking about. But yeah, so and you can kind of see like how like that camaraderie. Like there's also like videos. There's videos of like the Leafs OT celebration from like every angle out on the internet that I'm sure everyone has seen a bunch of times. But like Knives with like, you know, and you have like Dewar coming over just like congratulate him and like Nick Robertson and like those guys, and then also as well the hug between Knives and Wool. Love your goalie. Appreciate your goalie.
I think I died about 3 times when I saw that picture for the first time.
Well, it was like the video too, and I think I like they showed it on because you weren't watching the Sportsnet stream. You were watching ESPN. I was watching the Sportsnet stream. So the Sportsnet stream showed that hug angle, and I was like, text you going, there was the hug, there was the hug,
and I was like, what? I didn't get this.
No. But yeah, more. Oh, there was something else I wanted to say about Matthew Nyes. And now I'm trying. Oh, yes, him mouthing off again. Okay, this is looping back to what I said earlier about the Leafs being annoying, and it works. Like you can there's different ways in which you can be annoying. Like you can be annoying in where you are taking unnecessary penalties, which is what the Leafs were trying to do earlier in this series, and it didn't work for them because obviously then Boston was taking advantage of being on the power play in that situation. But like you can be annoying in the way where you just get under a team's skin just enough where like the refs can't do anything about it, but like it sets the other team off. And that's what the Leafs managed to do last game. That's what they did for 60 minutes plus because the game went to overtime, which is the first time it went to overtime this series also as well. But yeah, like you got it started off with, I'm trying to remember which order it happened. Was it Holmberg and Marchand first?
Yeah.
No. It was Marner and Marchand first.
Yes.
And I was like,
find someone else.
And I was like, what beef does Brad Marchand have against Mitch Marner?
The team hamster.
Like, what beef is there? Like, also as well, pick on someone your own side. Like, go after like Nicky Bobby. Like, why are you going up against a 6 feet? I don't know what to say when it's Mitch Marner. He's admitted to lying about it. Also, as well, like, we know they lie because the Sportsnet panel was ripping apart Ryan Nugent-Hopkins the other night. Like, you had Kevin Biesca and, oh my God, the goaltender that they have now. Oh my God, I keep forgetting his name. He's really, really great on the panel for Sportsnet. You know who I'm talking about? Used to play for Edmonton, is a goalie now on the Sportsnet panel. They just added him like in the past couple weeks this season. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Anyways, they were like, he's smaller than they were like ripping apart Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, being like, yeah, his like weight and height, total lies. He's smaller than he says he is. And I was like, damn, on nationals television, you're just absolutely ripping up. Like, poor Ryan Nugent. They're like, oh, praising him, whatever, because he did have a good period. I believe he got an assist or like he scored or something like that. And then like during the panel intermission, they were like, yeah, you know, and they were like talking. Then I think it was Kevin Biesca who started it, obviously. He's a great addition to the panel too. But and then he was like, yeah, like he's, you know, it was like 6'1", which he isn't. And I was like, okay, like didn't know we were saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, like, you'd have to put him on blast.
Poor Ryan Nugent-Hopkins can't even like stand up for himself in this situation. But yeah, so but like why, like I don't know what it is. And someone was like, well, maybe he's jealous because like Mitch got drafted by the Leafs and like Brad didn't. I'm like, no.
It's like, even if he was, it's been a while.
Even if it was, they were not in the same draft class, and also like, if it's the whole like, well, Mitch Marner's, like I could maybe believe the fact that it's Brad Marchand like as like a third or fourth rounder, going like, well, this guy was drafted 4th overall. Also, he was 4th overall 9 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, maybe
get over yourself.
Get a grip.
Get over yourself. Someone's a little bit too jealous of Mitch Marner's relationship with Sidney Crosby.
Yeah. Someone's a bit jealous about what went down at the All-Star game last year.
Yeah. You know, someone like was just slightly upset that they got excluded from that and didn't go.
Oh dear.
But yeah, so it started with that, and then Brad Marchand went after. Then he went after Pontus Holmberg, where I'm like, why are you going after Pontus Holmberg?
Like, that's a child.
That's Pontus. Like, it's like, I get it. You really want to go after Mitch Marner, so you're gonna go after his favorite NHLer, Pontus Holmberg. But then Brad Marchand. My favorite part about this is like Pontus Holmberg is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's just sat there and he's like, what's going on?
And then the ref comes and like WWE body slams Brad Marchand. And I'm like, yes.
Like, thank you for your service.
You just did what Leaf fans have been wanting to do for the past 10 years.
Like, hats off. Incredible form. Do it again.
And my favorite is like the look of like utter betrayal on Brad Marchand's face when he sees who it was who like body slammed him, because I'm sure he was fully preparing for it to be a Leaf, and then he looks up and it's a ref and he's like, what? You're supposed to be on my side.
It's like, well,
no. But and then later on there's a little bit of a kerfuffle in front of the net, and like Morgan Riley is like throwing punches with like David Pastrnak, and I'm like, what? I was like, what? Okay. At like, you know, 4 months ago we were like Morgan Riley for Lady Bang. And then he cross-checked Wrigley Craig. And then he cross-checked Wrigley Craig in the head, and we were like, maybe not.
It all just went downhill from there.
And then we were like, oh, maybe not. I don't know. I actually have to look at. Well, I don't even know who's going to get the lady. Probably Kyle Connor again. The Jets need a win.
They need a pity win. We'll give him this one.
We'll give him the Lady Bay. But yeah, and then Matthew Nyes comes in, and
this little
don't watch the clip, because absolute sass he was giving to David Pastrnak.
Do you know how many times I've watched that back today?
Oh, so many times.
Oh my god, it's been like on loop.
Absolutely incredible.
No, it was. He's such a little pest, and I love it. He's just. I'm so excited to see how he turns out in like a few years.
I know. I'm just like, I think about it. I'm like, it's gonna be so good. But yeah, so that was just like the whole thing. It was like, it was such a fun, like, even it was low scoring, it was high event and very fun to watch. Minus all the stress. I don't wear a heart rate monitor for a reason. But like, I'd be actually kind of afraid if I did. Just like,
yeah, I mean,
how high.
Even like before the game, we were messaging each other acting like this was it, and like we'd never see each other again.
Yeah, like that's the thing. We were like, well, if this is it, like,
it's been a good run.
And that kind of leads me into a point I want to get into, like, after we get through all of like the news stuff, is I do want to have a discussion about like where mentality is with the Leafs right now in terms of certain things. But yeah, like, I don't know. I sometimes worry about my heart rate when I watch the Leafs. But then also at the same time, I don't do anything to help it out. I'm currently sitting here drinking an energy drink, so.
You know, I can't even stop you, so.
Marcie's just really concerned about my caffeine consumption.
So concerned. Like,
hey,
and that's a lot.
It could be worse. It could be worse. I could be doing other things, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Whatever helps you sleep at night, not caffeine.
Hey, actually, no, I did go to sleep really late last night, so I was working on something. I was.
You were pulling at me.
I was pulling at you. Yeah. You know what? I will say though, probably never gonna do that anytime soon because I did run out of things to put on TV after the Oilers and Kings game ended. I was like, oh, there's no sports on after this? What am I meant to put on?
What do I do now? And you couldn't have even spoken to me because I was.
No, you were asleep.
I can't believe that it actually happened that I was asleep before you, for one.
It's the fact that like I was still awake and like both you and Cal were like waking up for the next day.
Yeah, because wait, what time were you up to? Like 4:30?
4:30, yeah. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's like
I was awake.
8:30. Yeah.
Yeah,
because you did awake because I did send you the video of Joseph Wool and I was like, I really hope you wake up before I go to bed so you can see this.
Yeah, no, because I remember I watched the video, I replied to you, and then I went straight back to sleep because I woke up at 9:30 and I didn't have anything in uni till 11, so I was like still in bed at 10. It was quite cozy, quite snug.
So also as well, so for tonight, just as a little preview, no Matthews for game 6. Once again, he did skate with Bobby McMahon this morning. So Bobby McMahon is alive.
Bobby McMahon is alive. We can't say unwell, but he is alive.
He is alive, and he did skate today for briefly before morning skate, which is like good because honestly, I was like, I don't know where he is.
And I was like, where in the world is Bobby McMahon?
No idea. Also as well, like we said, Joseph Wool will get the start tonight again.
I am so incredibly stressed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
excited because I like watching him play. But I don't know if my heart can take this. I really don't.
Yeah. Also as well, in other Leaf-related news, Easton Cowan was given the Red Tilson trophy as the OHL's MVP or most outstanding player. I don't know the difference. And making him the first member of the London Knights to claim the award since Mitch Marner did it in the 15-16 season. I can't, like, the amount of weird crisscrossy narratives that occur between Mitch Marner and Easton Cowan is enough to send me into a retirement home.
Yeah.
Or cardiac arrest, whichever one comes first, or both. Like, I think about that. I'm like, this is a kid who idolized Mitch Marner growing up, especially when he was playing with the London Knights, which, like, okay, thank you for making me feel old, Easton.
Like growing up, and it's like, what do you mean growing up? That was like yesterday.
I remember watching him get drafted. Like, I remember that. Jeez. But yeah, there also as well just some stats. I think Chris Johnson has them. No, he doesn't. Someone has the stats. Maybe it's Mark Masters.
Someone has them.
Where are they? You sent them to me.
Oh, they're in the podcast chat.
Are they? His stats?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I wanted to read his. I wanted to read his stats, and now I can't find them. I wanted to read them off because he's had a fantastic season, record-breaking season.
Where are?
They're probably somewhere in Leafs media, I think.
Yeah. He'll be somewhere.
They'll be somewhere. Are they? Is it somewhere? No. Is it? Sorry, I feel I should have had this pulled up, but I thought I did send it in, and I just I don't know where it is. Here we go. Thank you. I'm on the CHL.ca website. Cowan finished his sophomore season in the OHL with 34 goals, 62 assists, and 96 points in 54 games. Remember, he didn't even play like a full season because he missed games due to going to World Juniors, registering the league's second highest production rate of 1.78 points per game. He garnered league-wide attention with a 36-game point streak that spanned from November 25th through to the final game of the regular season on March 24th, eventually reaching a run of 42 games in the OHL playoffs. The 36-game mark established a new London Knights franchise record and is the longest point streak in the OHL has seen since 1995. Cohen's season saw him record at least a point in 49 of his 54 outings with a total of 33 multi-point performances along the way. His 7 shorthanded goals were tied with teammate Denver Barkey, which, hats off, that's a brilliant hockey name, for the league lead, while his 14 shorthanded points finishes atop the OHL list. His contributions helped the Knights secure Hamilton Spectator Trophy as the OHL's first place team during the regular season, along with a 5th straight Midwest Division title. And he is only 18 years old.
Oh my. Insane.
So he joins a pretty good list of London Knights winners as well, include like we said, Mitch Marner, who seems to be doing pretty well for himself. Michael Hauser, Corey Perry, Jason Allison. Jason Allison. I feel like I don't know about you, but like every time I just read like Jason Allison, I'm like, oh god, Jason Allison. Dave Simpson and Adesmer, recent winners of the Red Tilson Trophy, and I'm reading this out purely for you, and you'll see why. Includes Matthew Maggio, Wyatt Johnson, Marco Rossi, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. But yeah, so yeah, congrats to Easton Cowan. He's had a fantastic season. The Knights are currently up in their series against Saginaw. I believe they're up 3-1 in that series. Hold on, I can quickly check that. Yes, they're up 3-1 after a very dominant 7-3 win against Saginaw. That they will play game 5 of that series on Friday, where they could move on to the next round. I think then I'm trying to remember how many rounds there are to the OHL playoffs. I think then it would be the final round of the OHL playoffs before then the Mem Cup, if I am correct. There's only 4 teams left. I could be wrong, but like also at the same time, junior hockey has never been my strong suit. It's been a little hole of knowledge of mine. There's only so much hockey, and there's so much junior hockey.
So much.
But also as well, I believe also in terms of if we want to do a little mini update on some more Leafs prospects, Fraser Minton and the Saskatoon Blades they're tied in their series against Red Deer.
Mints.
They had a very, very exciting OT winner Tuesday to even that series up.
It was a very exciting OT winner.
All-time Sally.
Incredible.
All-time Sally. But yeah, I think this is kind of like where like I wanted to do more of a discussion that's like not even really about stats, just more about like the weird feeling around like Leafs Nation. I hate saying Leafs Nation.
Leafs Nation
before like because I only then have a really like a couple of other quick stories looking in at different series, some that have ended already around the league, but I did want to talk about kind of just the way that like I don't know about you, but the Leafs I don't want to say they're exceeding expectations. I think they're now, by going into game 6, they're exceeding expectations that were on them about a week ago.
Yeah.
Where it's the fact where it like feels kind of like weird. It's a weird sort of time where it's like Leaf fans are very, very vocal about what they want, what changes they want to see in the organization during the summer. And we're in a weird time where it's like, yes, we're surpassing the expectations of the expectation. I don't even want to say like surpassing expectations, because it's like we expected this team to do way better than they have been doing. Yes. But also at the same time, like when people are now calling for like Sheldon Keefe to get fired, Brendan Shanahan to get fired, Mitch Marner to get traded, which, by the way, if you send me another hypothetical Mitch Marner trade, I'm not even going to like pretend to feign interest. I don't care.
Yeah,
Watch the Leafs. Like, Leafs are still playing hockey. Like, we were seeing hypothetical Mitch Marner trades after game 2. I'm over it. Like there's still more hockey to play. There's still more games to get played. Like, okay, whatever. Like, as we get closer to when these trades could start to potentially happen, I will then be like pay more attention to them. But if you like be like, what about this trade, Emma? And it's like, like the Leafs are still in the playoffs, and people were like, well, this is what we should do to trade Mitch Marner. I'm like, guys, enjoy the hockey that's being played.
Yeah. Like, do you not get bored of being like just miserable?
That's the thing where I'm like, there's some people that I've genuinely had to mute this playoff series, because I'm like, do you get like bored being like, do you ever like want to stop being negative about everything all the time? Like, I've genuinely and I don't mute a lot of people on Twitter. I like very much, I don't block a lot of people on Twitter. I very much like truly just like take my TL, like my timeline at like full force, and I'm like, whatever. I raw dog it. I raw dog my timeline on Twitter. Which is not for everyone. I understand that. Some people very much do not do that, and they're like, nope, I've got a crazy long mute list. I've got a crazy which, like, whatever, however you choose to go about using the internet, I don't care. I'm not going to judge you for it, but like, people are going to be like, what? Why do you raw dog your timeline, Emma? But like, there's been people this playoff series on Twitter that I've genuinely had to mute because I could not take the absolute incessant negativity surrounding this team. And it's not even like a little bit of like, like how we've been almost realistic in the fact of like, well, this could be the end. It's been a good run. Like, too bad they didn't do more, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, truly, it's like, okay, fire everyone, trade everyone, get rid of everyone. And I'm like,
and it's like, no, like, we cannot be that dramatic about it at this point.
Truly, like, yeah, you can. And it's before you say, well, Emma, it's been like 8 years of this. I've been here the whole time. I've also been here when the Leafs have been really, really bad. Like, I know it's been a while. It's been my entire life. I get it. But I also am a fan of this team, and I tweeted this out a couple days ago where I'm like, genuinely, are any of you guys like fans of this team, like fans of like the Leafs? And people got like, and it was a rhetorical question, and this was where I'm like, I expected the internet to like be able to understand when a question is rhetorical. That's too much of me. I apologize. I apologize to the internet for assuming that you guys could understand rhetoric. But
yeah,
it was, and people were like, quote, and I don't know if they were meaning it to be like sarcastic or snarky, but I was like, if you guys like, who genuinely do you like on this team? Because you guys seem to never like anyone. And people were replying, like, some people had like were genuinely like understood that like what I was trying to say was sort of like enjoy it, like enjoy watching hockey. We get to watch extra games outside of the regular season.
Yeah.
Yes, like we've been through this so many times where like a first round, like, yes, I know Leafs are almost expected to get at least an 86 game season because that's just how it's been for the past 8 years, right? So you expect it. as a fan. And so then eventually it just doesn't feel like the playoffs anymore. But it's like, guys, this is a bonus that we get to be able to watch this team that we've watched for 82 games. We get to watch them play more hockey. This should be a reward to us. And you know what? Like, yeah, it'll be disappointing if they don't win, blah, 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 blah. And yes, we've been waiting for like, almost 60 years, blah, 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 blah. But it's so fun. Like, playoff hockey is so fun because it's so different than the regular season.
Yeah.
And so some people were like, yeah, like, why do we hate our team? Like, enjoy it. Like, enjoy that you get to watch these guys go out and play some really good hockey. Like, enjoy that we get to watch this talent and the talent that we have. And then some people chose to be sarcastic and funny and be like, I like Natalie Morris. Like, that's who I like off this team. And I was like, well, if you like Natalie Morris, which no offense, she's a great anthem singer. I think she's one of the best in the league.
I love you, Natalie Morris.
Love you, Natalie Morris. She's incredibly talented. The anthems are very hard to sing and she does it really, really well. I'm like, well, if you are only watching Leafs games for Natalie Morris, you can turn it off after the first 5 minutes of a broadcast. Genuinely, why are you watching hockey if you are only there for the
she's not going to pop up. She's not going to pop up like first line center, like score a couple goals.
She's there first 5 minutes of broadcast, and you can save yourself and the people who see your tweets on Twitter. If that's what you complain to, like after the puck drops, all you do is complain. Well, then, like, if you're only there for Natalie Morris, turn the TV off after she's done. Like, literally that easy. Like, genuinely, if people get so, like, if you don't like a single player on the Leafs, pick a new team that has a player that you like. And before people, well, it's about the crust on the front. This is just what I've been stewing about and getting mad about. And now I'm about to rant. And Marcie's looking at me like, oh God.
I'm sad.
But, like, if you, like, I get the understanding of, like, a team is the sum of its parts. And that, yes, the crest that you wear on the front of your jersey means more than the name on the back. But if you are watching a team and there are 20 guys on the ice, there are 20 guys that dress. There are 20 guys that dress. And you don't like there's 23 guys on an active roster, and you don't like a single one of those 23 guys, pick a new team with a guy that you do like. I'm sure at one point or another, there is an active player in the NHL who once played on the Leafs that you really, really like. And now he's playing for a different team. Watch his team instead. Be a fan of his team. Instead of always being so negative about this team and being like, well, I don't like anyone on this team. I think we should get rid of everyone. I'm like, well, then pick a new team. Pick a new team. Pick a team and then watch them not make the playoffs. I don't know, pick the Sharks if you really don't want to watch playoff hockey that bad.
Yeah.
Or the Ottawa Senators, Buffalo Sabres. Pick a team not in the NHL. Like, probably you'll also like, and you can be like, well, I live in Toronto. I'm going to be a Leafs fan.
You don't have.
You don't have to be. I guarantee you you're not a Leafs fan because you can afford to go see the games in person. So, but yeah, I think also as well, the Leafs are just kind of and it's also a weird spot where it's like, we kind of like, fans have said like they want, like, they know what they want to see from this organization in the offseason. Keith fired, Shanahan fired, whatever. And it's this weird sort of feeling where it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't want to say borrowed time, because it's like the Leafs have to go so much farther and have enough success in the playoffs to not have those things happen. Like, not to not have those things, but to like have the fans not be calling for those things to happen. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. How far and how much success they have to have this year in the playoffs for the fans to forget what they wanted the Leafs to do after game 2 of this series is I think it's quite far. Right? It's definitely getting past the second round.
Yeah.
Right? And where then you draw the line after that is dependent on probably your own personal bias and a bunch of all other multitude of factors of like how close series are or whatever. Right?
Yeah. It also just irritates me because it's like, well, like especially just like when I see people just like on my timeline and I'm like, especially like people I follow, like genuinely hating on the team, and I'm like, I know I shit on them, but I do it in a dramatic, I've just watched them lose another game sort of way, not in a I genuinely wish bad things upon this team sort of
Yeah,
way.
like that's the thing. Like that's what I mean. Like the people I'm muting is not like people I don't follow. Because that's just, it's very easy to just be like, I'm not interested in seeing this stuff. Like that's, but it's like people I genuinely follow and like respected their opinions throughout the regular season on certain topics. Like I respected how they viewed the team. And now they're saying things in a way that's so genuinely negative about this organization and about the players that play for it that I'm like, I have to mute you because you like, I no longer respect what you have to say because the way that you're going about it is so overtly negative in a way that people like, not people don't need, but in a way where it's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Like,
Go somewhere else.
you can be critical of a player, but like if a player does nothing to deserve it, because you can't expect them to go out there and play like hockey playing robots. They are human beings at the end of the day, so they're never always like, guys are never going to play like a perfect game because that's a ridiculous expectation to put on a human being. And if they do nothing overtly wrong, there seems to be no need to be like to be shitting on them if they're like, oh, this player didn't score 3 goals in a single, like, whatever, in a playoff game. Ship them off to Alaska. I don't, right? Like, and I'm like, okay, well then why are you here? You sound more like the people, like, when you start to sound when you start to sound more like fans of other teams who hate the Leafs, that's where I have to say, just pick another team.
Yeah.
Pick another team. So, anyways, that's what I wanted to say. And that's why I left it for after we talked about all of the new stuff. But I do have a couple more other notes and stories to take care of as well. Some season-ending games this week between Monday's episode and this episode. The New York Islanders, the Winnipeg Jets, Tampa Bay Lightning, and the LA Kings all had their seasons ended this week. They were all eliminated. This then has our first confirmed matchup of the second round, being the New York Rangers for taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. That will be a really fun series to watch because both of those teams are extremely good.
I'm excited for it.
I'm very excited for it. But yeah, so that'll be a fun, exciting, I feel like very back and forth series to watch. But yeah, so in doing so, we then, I think there hasn't been really a laundry list coming out of the New York Islanders. I don't know if you saw anything. Winnipeg Jets and the LA Kings, I think it's slightly too recent, too new to get, but we did get a laundry list from the Tampa Bay Lightning about their injuries.
Indeed, we did.
Cernak with an AC joint sprain, which is shoulder, suffered in game 2. Glendening, dislocated shoulder and Lampard April 15th. I think he was playing through with that, though. Am I correct? Glendening, I think he did dress for some games. Did he not?
I don't actually know. Which is quite bad.
Yeah, he did.
Shit.
Yeah, dude was playing like 4th line minutes with a dislocated shoulder and lateral tear that he suffered on April 15th. Hagel had a glute strain that he suffered in game 3. Johansson quad tear March 30th. Mott had been playing on a broken ankle since October 11th. Herbeck's AC joint sprain that he suffered in game 1. Radish abdominal and left hip iliac crest contusion from a cross check in game 3. And Sherry was playing with a ruptured tendon in his finger since December 30th. And that's the laundry list coming out of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Also then as well, there was some comments made by John Cooper, which I think has been really well summed up by other people who are much better with their words than we are. And I will go and I purposely didn't say anything because I was like not confident in how I would phrase it without it coming off as wrong. So I just like liked and retweeted the comments I saw from other people.
Yeah.
Because they were much better at putting basically what I was feeling about that into much better words. But to sum it all up, if you've been living under a rock this week in terms of that sort of thing, in his end of season media availability, he made a comment. Not even end of season. No. It was post game 5 after Tampa Bay Lightning were eliminated by the Florida Panthers. He made a comment regarding goalies and skirts, which is very misogynistic and has no place in hockey. I think goalies should be wearing more skirts.
Agreed.
But then, and then he in his end of season video availability actually said a very genuine apology that actually sort of like, as much as I like saw that after and I was like, wow, John Cooper, I thought like I was just starting to, you know, like you as a coach, even though you work for the Tampa Bay Lightning and I despise the organization you work for. But like, he's funny. I'm sorry. Sometimes John Cooper can be really funny. And I'm like, why is John Cooper making me laugh? This is not one of those cases where he was funny. I will say, I want to put that out there. But disclaimer, that's not the comment I was agreeing with and saying that was funny, because that is not something you should be saying at all. But then he said a very genuine apology in which he was not asked to make an apology. Like, it was something that he said himself, being like, first I want to say an apology about my comments that I made. And then he also said, I have 2 daughters at home. I apologize to them first after I said those comments. I should not have said that. I understand that what I said was wrong. It's something that I'm striving to be better at every day. And I think it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if you've had this with like your parents, where it's like, you can try your hardest to be a very like, and I know my parents are good people, but sometimes they'll get emotional and they'll say things that are inherently wrong. And that's just because it's an old-fashioned way, but they're always striving to be better with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they try, but then like sometimes it just slips out, and then they're like,
it slips out, but and they feel bad about it. Like, I think that was the situation here with John Cooper, and like, good on him for recognizing that he made a mistake and for apologizing for it. And honestly, gains my respect, because not very many people in hockey, not very many people in a position like himself, in terms of a position of power and a position of recognizability, would take a moment to realize what they had done wrong and apologize for it.
Yeah,
in that situation, without being asked first. Like, it was a very genuine apology that he made, where he was like, and also as well, he said, well, like, I first went home and apologized to my daughters in private. And like, that's the thing where I was like good on him.
Good for him. Yeah, because I think as well, what a lot of people have to remember, and this is not me making excuses for him, but what a lot of people have to remember is he's not a 20-year-old on Twitter.
Yes. I think he's 57.
Old
I want to say he's right around my dad's age. 56.
Sorry, I just called your dad old. I'm sorry. You're not 50, old.
My dad's 57. I think he'll own the old part. He gets the seniors discount at the drugstore and owns it.
Living a good life.
He'll own that, I think. I think at this point he's counting up the years till he can retire.
Yeah, he's just like, oh. Just like, it hits 60, his birthday.
62.
Like, he just like. No, but it's like, he's not a 20-year-old on Twitter.
No.
He's an almost 60-year-old man. You can't expect someone who was brought up in a time where it was very much a normal thing to say.
Also, as well, brought up within hockey culture. You have to keep that in mind.
Which is like, that just like 10 times worse. But it's like, you can't expect him to not, like, even if he's like obviously trying to like and like change the way he thinks. He was brought up like around other people saying stuff like that. It's gonna happen at some, like, he's gonna slip up at some point, because like it doesn't matter how, like, if you're genuinely like trying to be better, like when you get emotional you don't think. I know I don't think when I get emotional about things, and a lot of the time I say stuff that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I probably upset people, but at the same time it's very much like a heat of the moment, like, sort of thing.
And I think if he had not apologized for those comments in the way that he did, we would be having a different conversation.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's the way that he went about that apology that I think really stands out for me, of being like, yeah, like
I respect that.
He's a good dude still.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially because he said, like, I went home right away and right away apologized to my daughters. Which, like, have you ever tried to, like, I don't know about you, but, like, my parents are stubborn. I know where I get it from.
Like, yeah. Speaking of stubborn parents, my dad is where I get my
right? Like, we are very stubborn individuals, and we get it from somewhere, and we get it from our parents. And I can recognize, like, having stubborn parents, like, how hard it is to get your parents to admit that they are wrong.
So hard.
Anyways, I know my parents are listening to this, so love you, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, love you, Mom and Dad. Hi.
I'm not saying it as an insult, but it is, like, my mom, it is something my mom says to me, where it's like, you know, where you, like, she's like, of course you're going to be stubborn. You get it from, like, us. Like,
yeah. It's like, I have grown up around my dad. Of course I'm going to be stubborn. That man, I don't think he's ever admitted he was wrong. Like, he will defend him. He will defend everything he says. He will try and justify it using anything he can. And he's just like me for that.
yeah. But yeah, also as well, more news for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Victor Hedman is going to Worlds to play for Team Sweden. Maybe next episode we will have news about who's going to be representing Canada. I was like, I'm like, World starts in a week. I was like, we haven't gotten a lot of news about who else is going. And then I looked up when, like, last year when Canada announced their roster, they announced it May 5th. So maybe we'll see the same sort of timeline with this. Who knows? I would just like to know, just so I can, like, start putting together, like, fun line combinations that maybe don't always make sense, like, on ice, but in my head I'm like, yeah, putting Sidney Crosby, Connor Bedard, and Macklin Celebrity on one line does make sense, even though all three of them are centers. Macklin Celebrity is a center, right? I think he is. Or maybe he's not. Maybe he is a winger. I don't. Sorry, Macklin. I forget what position you play. Is it blah blah blah? Is just says forward on his bio. Oh, he is a center. Shoots left. But yeah, so he's a center. See, yeah, but we'll just roll. But, like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. This works.
Yes.
Another thing I have that's kind of funny. I don't know if you saw this. Is the video from the Canucks Preds game, where there was 0.6 seconds left in a period of time that had gotten added back on, but the Vancouver Canucks thought that the period was over, and so they all started heading back to their locker room, but they still had to do a face-off draw for the 0.6 seconds that was left. Did you see this?
No.
Oh my god, I thought you saw this. I retweeted that video,
like,
and I thought you saw it.
No, in all fairness, I've not been on my phone a lot today, so I've not seen much.
I'll have to, like, scroll back through it to try and find it. I'm gonna have to find it. It was like, but yeah, but that it was kind of a weird thing because it was really funny because they like it was. I
can't believe I missed this.
I know. I'm like surprised you missed this because it was. Here we go. There's like a bunch of videos, but I'll send it to you. Sent it to you.
Brilliant.
And there's a couple. There's two. I don't know if those ones like overlap or not, but you can watch that. And so it was like guys that like had their jerseys off and like had their helmets off. So then they had to like get I think it was like 5 random guys who were like, okay, who has the most equipment still on to come back out and take the draw? Meanwhile, like Nashville was still on the ice, but I guess there was maybe some miscommunication or something or whatever. I wasn't watching that game because it was too late.
It was past your bedtime.
Past my bedtime. But yeah, it's really funny if you look, like there's a couple guys who were just on the bench watching like without their helmet. Like Quinn Hughes was one of them who was just like sitting out there, no helmet on, like
just like
what?
It's kind of like me after I wake up from a nap.
I don't think I've ever seen that though, where it's like there's been time, like we've seen it multiple times this season where there's been a goal during overtime that has been called back, and then guys have to come back out for a shootout, or to continue the over. But like I've never seen that where it's been like there's been time still left on the clock and guys have to come back out to finish the period.
That's quite funny though.
Also, it's the fact that it was like 0.6 seconds where I'm like, can you actually score in 0.6 seconds?
I mean, probably.
Like even off a draw?
But it'd be hard. But like you probably could.
I don't know. It was just one of those weird things. Yeah, I feel like there's something else that I wanted to talk about, but now I don't remember. Hold on. It was like something where I was like looking through Sportsnet and I was like, this is something I wanted to talk about, but now I like don't remember. Oh, I just got a text from my dad. Is Austin dying? Maybe.
Oh,
honestly, at this point, maybe.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? Oh yes, that's what I wanted to talk about. Stars in Vegas. That game last night was really, really fun and exciting. And it was there was multiple things I wanted to talk about with that game. One of them was like the way like Dallas Stars had so many chances. They dominated that game, even though on the score sheet like it doesn't look like it was a really close game, but like they had so many chances. Like they had like 2-on-1s. They had a 3-on-0 at one point that didn't pan out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, a 3-on-0. They had 2-on-1s. They had like a full-on breakaway. I was like Vegas's defense was like falling apart and they were taking bad penalties and everything. Like it was a whole really fun game. And Dallas ended up squeaking out the win, which I think then yeah, now they're leading that series. They've come back from behind. They were down 2-0 in the series. Now they're leading 3-2. Which is crazy. So yeah, tune into Game 6 tomorrow for Dallas and Stars. Not Dallas and Stars. Dallas and Knights. Stars and Knights.
Starry Nights.
My dad is still on this Austin Matthews ingrown toenail thing.
I respect his dedication.
His commitment to the bit.
I respect his commitment to the bit. I really do.
I don't ingrown. I mean,
also, girl, are you okay?
I don't know where he's getting ingrown toenail from. I don't know if it's him making it up or if it's like genuinely like he read it somewhere, which like if he read it somewhere, why haven't I seen it on Twitter?
Yeah, where is this? Where is your source?
Which Leafs beat reporter are you following? Because I follow all of them and none of them have said that. If I don't hear it from David Alter himself, lies.
If it doesn't come from the Twitter account of David Alter, it's wrong.
It's wrong. David Alter or Mark Masters or a friend confirmed there's a Leafs foursome book for tomorrow. Jesus Christ. Maybe I'll block his number next.
I think that's a shout.
He actually is. Oh my god. But and then also there's some. Oh yes, because I was watching ESPN because it's two American teams, so it's an ESPN broadcast. It's not a Sportsnet broadcast, and like the panel was like weirdly positive about the Leafs, which is something I've never experienced before.
No.
Where I was like, oh, and because they were like talking about like the Leafs genuinely have a chance here. Like the Leafs are looking really good. Like they looked really good last night. Like this could be it for like they could go, like they could do something here with this. And I was like, if this was on Sportsnet, they would be listing out the 7 ways the Leafs could win tonight. No, not win. The 7 ways the Leafs could lose tonight.
Oh, honestly, they're getting ripped to pieces.
Yeah. And I was like, what is this? I'm unfamiliar with this feeling, which is watching my team not get ripped to shreds on a intermission panel.
Yeah, it's weird. And
It's
I don't
weird.
think I like it.
It's weirdly unsettling. I'm so used to like I was like, because they were talking about it, and I, you can kind of tell based on like the graphics or whatever, like what series they were going to talk about, and I was like, oh, here we go. I started reaching to the remote to mute the TV because I didn't want to hear it, and I was like, actually, like weirdly positive. Funnily enough, the only person that ever said anything negative about the Leafs was PK Subban. Ironic, because he grew up in Toronto.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
He also never liked the Leafs when he was in the league. Like he never like
no,
when he was with Montreal especially.
I'm just like, girl, do you not get bored?
When PK Subban was in Montreal especially, he did not like the Leafs.
No.
But yeah, with that being said, end it here. I don't know if you have anything else to add.
I don't think I do have anything else to add for once.
Okay.
Apart from the fact that I have written down a quote from you from today.
Oh God, what is it?
I raw dog my timeline on Twitter. I feel like that's something that needs to be documented.
Oh, you're gonna tweet that out, aren't you?
What? Why would I do that?
But yeah, I will end it here then, because Leafs puck drop is in 2-ish hours. So me and Mar have to get in our post-podcast yap time in before the game starts.
Oh, I'm so scared.
But hey, the kids are gonna be all right. If anything we can take away from this and this series is the kids are gonna be all right. And go Leafs go.
Go Leafs go.
The thing is like all this week, like mentally preparing, like even when we were recording Monday's episode with Miranda, which once again, absolute blast to have her on.
So much fun.
Loved having them on. I was like mentally preparing for this to be the episode where we're like, well, that's it. That's the end of the Leaf season. And like now we have to talk about other teams. And like I have to pay more attention to other playoff series besides just like having them on in the background when I do stuff, right? Like, because that's what I've been doing. I've been like, oh, hockey's on every single night. I'll just like have a game on in the background while I do other things, except if it's the Leafs. Now I'm gonna have to like actively watch all the games so we can talk about like the playoffs. But like now I'm like weirdly like vibes are high. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like emotionally numb to the Leafs at this point.
Yeah, like I'm excited to play game, but also scared.
Scared. Just I don't know.
Also, I do have one final thing, which is my mum has sent us a motivational quote of the day for the Leafs.
Oh my god, okay.
She sent me, it said, motivational quote for the Leafs, in which she just Googled motivational quote. The only one who can tell you can't win is you, and you don't have to listen. Thank you to Jessica Ennis-Hill for those words of wisdom.
Shout out to Lindsay. Shout out to Jessica Ennis-Hill. Go Leafs. Shout out to the Leafs. Hopefully, we'll be back here on Monday. Hey, if we're back here on Monday, if we're back here on, because hypothetical Game 7's on Saturday. So Monday, no matter what happens, will be an episode. For those who are wondering about like our summer schedule, because I think I don't know, someone did ask, be like, are you gonna like record, like what are you gonna do when, what are you gonna do after the Leafs playoff run's over? I'm like, well, we're still gonna keep making episodes. So yeah, we're gonna run all the way till like mid-July. 2 episodes a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. The latest, I will not be present on Twitter for about 3 weeks after the 17th of July, because I have fieldwork for my university course.
Yeah, so Marcie will be in the Scottish Highlands.
Oh, beautiful.
But you'll still hear from me.
West Scotland.
I will be just as prevalent, but just won't be recording podcast episodes. We're gonna take a break, but like mid-July. But the exact date of our like last episode of the quote unquote season will come closer to once we get through the draft and free agency. But don't worry, we will be covering that sort of thing and all of that stuff, and the NHL award and everything. So like, don't worry, you're not losing us just yet. We keep going.
No, we'll still be here.
We'll still be here. You can't get rid of us that easily.
No, there's no getting rid of us.
No.
Absolutely not.
Because then, like, after we take our break, we'll be back in September.
Season 2.
Quote unquote season 2. I don't think we're gonna give ourselves a season 2 moniker, but quote unquote season 2. Yes. Season 2 and our first full season.
Which would be so exciting.
Very exciting. Yeah, but so yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for listening. Go Leafs go.
Go Leafs go.
Go Leafs go. You can follow the show on Twitter at From the Fourth Line. That's 4 with the number 4TH. You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow Marcie on Twitter at 6leafs. You can follow myself at ParaB1. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back on Monday giving you more yapping. I was looking for a word there. I was about to say content. I was like, I don't want to call myself a content creator.
More yapping.
More yapping. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.